In a world of panic and madness, we say it clearly to you. This is not just a movie, but an experience that will freeze the blood in your veins. Beware, the horror you will face here may not leave you the same. If you are ready to challenge your fear, subscribe to the channel. But remember, you may not be able to escape what you will see. Under the cover of pitch-black darkness, Alex and Eleanor arrived at their new home, an old abandoned house located on the outskirts of the city. They were excited to start a new life away from the hustle and bustle of the city. But something was looming, something mysterious and dark. The night was eerily quiet, as if nature itself was holding its breath. As they entered the house, they felt an unnatural coldness creeping into their bones. The dust-covered furniture and tattered curtains gave the place an air of gloom. There was an old, musty smell lingering in the air. Eleanor began exploring the house while Alex started moving in their belongings. But his eyes fell on an old wooden door in the corner of the hallway, almost hidden behind furniture and a broken mirror. They discovered an abandoned basement beneath the house and decided to open the doors and explore it, unaware of what awaited them. That decision marked the beginning of an unforeseen nightmare. As they opened the door, a foul odor wafted out, as if the place hadn't been opened for centuries. They slowly descended the rickety wooden stairs. Under the dim light of their flashlights, Alex and Eleanor slowly descended into the basement, their hearts pounding with fear and tension. Each step on the wooden stairs produced a terrifying creak, as if the house was groaning under the weight of its buried secrets. When they reached the basement, their vision was blurred by the accumulated dust. The walls were covered in layers of mold and moss, and the basement floor was littered with scattered old objects and decayed furniture. But what caught their attention the most was the presence of an old metal door in the back wall, appearing as if it had been tightly sealed for a long time. Alex slowly approached the door and began trying to open it. It was extremely difficult, but after several attempts, he managed to break the lock. The door creaked open with a loud noise, as if the spirits trapped behind it had been waiting for this moment to be released. Inside the dark room behind the door, they discovered something strange and horrifying. The walls were covered in bizarre carvings and demonic symbols, and in the center of the room stood an ancient stone altar, adorned with strange tools and dried blood. It looked as if this room had been used for sinister rituals in the past. As they examined the room, strange shadows began to slowly appear on the walls, moving eerily. The sound of whispering grew clearer, as if someone was speaking in an ancient and mysterious language. Suddenly, Alex noticed something glimmering in the corner of the room. It was an old mirror, partially broken, but what it reflected was not just their images. When Alex looked into the mirror, he saw terrifying scenes from the past. There were images of people bound, with screams and cries of pain filling the air. They realized that this mirror had witnessed the evil rituals that had taken place in this room. Eleanor began to feel dizzy, as if the spirits inhabiting the mirror were trying to pull her into their world. At that moment, they heard the sound of heavy footsteps approaching. The ground shook with each step. Their breaths became harder to catch, and suddenly, in front of them, appeared the figure of an old man, dressed in ancient clothes with a disfigured face. He held a long staff in his hand that glowed with a strange light. The man spoke in a deep and terrifying voice. "You have awakened the ancient evil. Now you must pay the price." The floor beneath their feet began to shift, as if it was trying to swallow them. Alex tried to reach Eleanor, but he felt an invisible force holding him back, preventing him from moving. Alex started to feel an eerie coldness sweeping through his body, as if malevolent spirits were hovering around them. As for Eleanor, the fear and dread inside her grew stronger. Suddenly, their flashlights went out, plunging them into complete darkness. At that moment, strange sounds began to emanate from all around the basement. Mysterious whispers and the sound of footsteps drawing closer. Alex felt something approaching him, but when he turned, there was no one there. Eleanor started screaming in terror, but her voice was swallowed by the heavy silence. Alex and Eleanor tried to escape the darkness, but the doors were tightly sealed. Heavy breathing and eerie whispers surrounded them from every side. Suddenly, they felt a strange coldness brush against their faces, as if the malevolent spirits trapped in this place had awakened. Alex took Eleanor's hand, desperately trying to find an exit. They crept slowly through the dark room, trying to avoid the scattered furniture and objects that seemed to move on their own. At that moment, they heard a strange sound, like a low hum, coming from the corner of the room. They approached slowly and saw a mysterious figure trembling in the darkness. It was a woman dressed in a tattered old gown, her eyes gleaming strangely in the dark. When she looked at them, they felt terror creeping deep into their souls. She began whispering incomprehensible words and slowly moved closer to them. Alex tried to turn on his flashlight again, but the battery was dead. He gripped Eleanor's hand tightly and started pulling her toward the stairs, but the heavy footsteps and unsettling noises were drawing nearer. Suddenly, the basement door burst open with force, and a wave of cold air rushed in. They dashed toward the door, desperate to escape this nightmare. But before they could reach it, the dark figure appeared in front of them again, blocking their way out. The mysterious woman's whispers grew more terrifying, as if she was summoning other evil forces. Alex began to feel weak, as though his very soul was being drained from him. He held onto Eleanor tightly, trying to resist, but the lights in the room started flickering erratically. In a moment of despair, Alex felt an intense cold sweeping through his body, as if the malevolent spirits were truly beginning to take over. The floor beneath their feet started to crack slowly, and ominous sounds from the depths warned of imminent danger. The mysterious woman drew closer, her whispers transforming into horrifying screams that pierced their ears. As the lights flickered chaotically, Alex noticed a strange glow emanating from the stone altar. He glanced toward the altar and saw something moving among the strange tools, pulsing with life. The ancient object, covered in dried blood, gleamed with a blood-red light. Alex made a bold decision. He grabbed a piece of old furniture and hurled it at the dark figure. The mysterious figure was momentarily distracted, giving them a brief chance to escape. They sprinted toward the stairs, but the doors behind them began slamming shut with great force. With great difficulty, they managed to reach the upper floor and tightly closed the basement door behind them. They sighed in relief, but the strange sounds did not cease. They knew that the evil was still pursuing them, and that the old house was not just an abandoned place, but a sanctuary for malevolent spirits. They couldn't stay another night in the house, so they decided to leave immediately. But as they were leaving, they realized that the evil spirits had left their mark on their souls and that the nightmare was far from over. They knew that fleeing the house wouldn't free them from the evil that now haunted them and that they might never find peace again.